For thousands of years, across all sorts of cultures, from ancient Egypt to the Middle East, there's this one tiny seed that has an almost legendary status. We're talking about Nigella Sativa, but you probably know it as black seed. It's been called everything: a miracle herb, the seed of blessing, a cure-all for countless problems. But, beyond all the folklore and ancient texts, what does modern science actually have to say about it? Well, that's exactly what we're here to find out.
I mean, listen to this. This is a powerful statement, right? It's a prophetic hadith from Islamic tradition, and for centuries, this is what has framed the reputation of black seed. It suggests this, universal healing power, and that's something that has captivated not just traditional healers, but now modern scientists too.
So, is there really any truth to the legend? What happens when we pull this ancient remedy out of the history books and slide it under a 21st century microscope? That's what we're going to dig into today, the hard science behind this so-called miracle herb. Okay, so to understand how it works, we first have to know what it's made of. Let's peel back the layers and break down what's actually inside the black seed. So at a really basic level, the seed is just a nutritional powerhouse. I mean, you can see from this breakdown, it's absolutely packed with healthy fats, a ton of fiber-rich carbs, and a really solid amount of protein. But while that's all great, it's not the whole story. Not by a long shot. The real magic, at least scientifically speaking, comes from what we call its bioactive compounds. We're talking about a whole cocktail of these specialized little plant compounds that can interact with our bodies in some really beneficial ways. Think of them as the seed's active ingredients. And among all of these, there's one that stands head and shoulders above the rest. And here it is. Meet thymoquinone, or TQ for short. This is our hero molecule. It's the most important active compound in the seed's essential oil, and pretty much all the scientific research points to TQ as the reason for black seed's famous medicinal properties. So the big question is, how does it actually work? So let's zoom in on thymoquinone. Let's explore the biological mechanics that make this little molecule so darn powerful. Turns out, studies have shown that thymoquinone is basically a double threat. First, it's a super powerful antioxidant, which means it helps protect our cells from the kind of damage that leads to aging and disease. And second, it's a potent anti-inflammatory. Now just think about it. So many chronic conditions, from heart disease to arthritis, are driven by inflammation and that cell damage. So a compound that can fight both at the same time, that is a huge deal. And that's exactly why scientists are so excited about TQ. Now, this all sounds incredibly promising, right? But there's a major plot twist in our story, a really significant hurdle that has kept thymoquinone from becoming a mainstream medical treatment. It's the obvious question, isn't it? If this molecule is so effective in a lab, why aren't we all using it? What's the catch? Well, the answer comes down to one critical scientific concept: bioavailability. And all that means is it's the amount of a substance that actually gets into your system and can have an active effect. And for thymoquinone, well, this is a huge problem. Okay, here's problem number one. Preclinical studies show that when you take thymoquinone by mouth, only about 58% of it even gets absorbed into your bloodstream. So right off the bat, nearly half of it is just lost. It never even gets a chance to work. But it actually gets worse. Of that little bit that does get absorbed, more than 99% of it immediately gets grabbed and bound up by proteins in your blood. This basically handcuffs it, right? It can't get to the tissues in your body where it needs to go. So the tiny fraction that makes it in is almost completely tied up and unable to do anything. And this analogy really nails the problem. It's like having this incredibly powerful key that could unlock a cure for something, but it's so fragile that it just shatters before you can even get it into the keyhole. And that, in a nutshell, is the bioavailability challenge for thymoquinone. But hey, science loves a good challenge. Researchers aren't giving up. Instead, they're coming up with some really clever new ways to get this powerful key into the lock. And this is where modern tech meets ancient wisdom. The most promising solution right now is nanotechnology. By wrapping thymoquinone up in these tiny nano-sized particles, scientists can protect it, help it get absorbed better, and make it stick around in the body longer. It's kind of like building a tiny armored car for our very fragile key. And the results? They're pretty dramatic. This chart shows just how much different nanodelivery systems can boost bioavailability. I mean, look at these bars over on the right. Some of these formulations have been shown to boost bioavailability by nearly 4 times. That's a 400% increase in the amount of active TQ getting to do its job. This is a massive, massive leap forward. So what we're really seeing is cutting-edge pharmaceutical science being applied to a remedy that's been around for millennia. Research companies are zeroing in on perfecting these delivery systems to finally get past the natural limitations of this amazing molecule.
And that leaves us with a really fascinating final thought. We've got this ancient seed with a legendary reputation, a powerful molecule with proven effects, and a major biological hurdle standing in the way. So the question isn't really if black seed works anymore, but how we can make it work better. Could this incredible fusion of ancient wisdom and modern nanotechnology finally unlock the full promise of the seed of blessing?